What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This episode number 61, and we start today's episode off with a game against Molde here in the Champions League qualifying stages at Carrow Road. And of course, in the first leg, which was in yesterday's episode, we won by 4-0 away in Norway. So coming into this game, I just decided to rest the entire side. No disrespect to the Norwegians, but we'd sewn the tie up in the first leg with relative ease. So came into this game and there was no need for a single first team player to be involved because quite frankly we'd already sewn the tie up. I mean, you know, we're not going to surrender a 4-goal lead or, you know, now at home after a back of a 4-0 win away from home. So we're not going to surrender this lead, and you know, we came into this game and we just knew that all we'd have to do really is just make sure we didn't concede any sloppy goals in the early stage of the game, and we'd be going through to the Champions League group stages, which is, you know, all we ever really wanted. So we did come into this game, you know, obviously, you know, with respect to Molde, we didn't put out a complete you know, youth team, if you will, but you know, we didn't need to play any first 11 players. So in the 7th minute, however, we did have the first chance of the game. Dale Jennings comes through here and rises the challenge, goes down the right hand side, gives it to Magnus Wolf Eikrem, the former Molde player. His cross in found Odelusi, his header was well saved by the goalkeeper. However, from the resulting corner, Diego Perotti crosses it in towards Sean Morrison, and his header goes into the back of the net. So 8 minutes in, we were already 1-0 up, and poor old Molde, seriously, and poor old Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they just weren't up to the challenge really, and we were already 1-0 up here, and in the 45th minute we had a good chance to make it 2-0. Anthony gets past his man with a great piece of pace, goes down left hand side, nice step over, nice finesse into the bottom corner. It's Norwich 2, Molde 0, 6-0 on aggregate. They just wanted to pack up and go home at half time, to be honest, but even so, there was a second half to play, see if they could get themselves a consolation goal in this tie. But in the 52nd minute, it was looking like it would be us that would score another goal, and in the 52nd minute, Anthony rolled it through to Dale Jennings. Lovely turn of pace, and I don't know what to say. I mean, this guy is just incredible. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I want to play him week in, week out, but he ain't got the stamina to do so, and quite frankly, it's just not easy to take out Redmond and Townsend, but he's just unstoppable. He's just literally unstoppable, and I just, you know, he's incredible, and what a finish. But anyway, we won by 3-0, and on aggregate we won by 7-0. So we're through to the Champions League group stages. We get a nice 1.3 million for progressing, and I'm absolutely delighted, man. We're through to the group stages, and it's just brilliant news for us. But behind the scenes, I've been using the Global Transfer Network, I've been using our scouts, and we've been looking at Nathaniel Klein here as a right back, just because our right back area is probably our weakest. You know, we've got Russell Martin, who's okay, obviously a long-term player at the club. We've got Callum Chambers, who's developing. We don't really have a good first choice right back, to be honest, and I'd like to get Nathaniel Klein. He's English, he's young, and he's already going to be like 77, 78 rated, so well, at the very least 76, 75, but I'd imagine by now he's already progressed a few. So we asked Southampton if they'd like to take Russell Martin plus a couple of million. They say they want 4 million for Nathaniel Klein, but I'm like, oh god, seriously, that's way too much money for me. But you know, we've got money to spend, we've got the budget to use. We asked them if they'd like 3 million plus Martin, but once again, as you'll see here, they say no, give us 4 million or he's not going. So they're clearly not interested in Russell Martin, they just want more money. But even so, £4 million plus Russell Martin is what Pochettino wants for Klein, which is acceptable really, because he is a very good young right back. He's only 24 years old, but he's only got 11 months on his contract. You know, I was expecting that to be a good way to get players on the cheap, but it looks like you can't really do that, unfortunately. But anyway, we take on Aston Villa for the second game of the episode here. Taking them on at Carrow Road, back in the league, of course. Coming on the back of that 3-0 win against Molde, we rested all the players, so everyone was fully fit. We just had to rest a couple of players on the bench. Eikrem got subbed off for Sharp, and other than that, the players were perfectly fine. But I was so, you know, desperate to start Dale Jennings in this game. I can't justify taking out. The thing is, it's so hard not to play Dale Jennings, but you can't justify taking out Townsend or Redmond because they're both fantastic. Townsend, the highest rated player player in the team, and Redmond's been fantastic ever since we came to the club. You can't justify dropping either of them. It reminds me of when Lloris went to Spurs and Friedel was first choice goalkeeper, and Lloris is obviously good enough to be playing first team, but Friedel kept his place because AVB couldn't drop him. There was no need to drop Friedel. That's what it reminds me of, you know, the fact that there's a player waiting to be playing, but you can't drop the player ahead of him, so or players ahead of him. So it's just funny. But we do take on Villa for the second game of the episode here, and Lukaku gets his first goal in a Norwich shirt here. The goalkeeper came out and he didn't really know what he was doing. He got caught in no man's land. Lukaku fake shotted the ball, kept hold of it, and ended up finessing it into basically an open goal here. So 1-0 to Norwich, and in the 86th minute we had a great chance to make it 2-0. Townsend comes through here but misses a sitter. If he does that again, he's definitely getting dropped for Dale Jennings. A complete sitter by Townsend, but it was still 1-0, and in the 90th minute here Villa came through. Stephen Ireland ends up chipping the ball through to Lima, goes through, gets past Kirakez, and ends up dinking the ball over Butland. What a finish it was by Villa's number 20, and the game finishes 1-1, so we surrender 2 points in the last couple of minutes in injury time, and that's just really, really frustrating. It was a game of few chances. There really were barely any chances in the game. Townsend should have scored that chance there. He missed it, and because of that, sadly, Villa collect a point when really they should have left with nothing, and we should have had all three and continued a winning start to the season. So very, very disheartening, very frustrating. But you know, you can't work around that. You gotta take the rough with the smooth. You can't win everything, and even if it was a last-minute equaliser, you gotta look at the positives, and there you go. But Southampton accept the deal of £3.9 million plus Russell Martin, so a saving of 100 grand. I'll take it. We need every penny, so I'll take it. 3.9 plus Russell Martin, and Klein accepts the contract. This all happened on deadline day, by the way. I didn't show this because it was really weird, but deadline day, like, nothing happened. There was only one real big bid, and that was Pato going to Dortmund for 30.5 million. All the other bids were like really, really, like, you know, basic £5-6 million deals. There was no, you know what I mean? Like the last couple of seasons I've showed it, there've been really good deals to show you. Like, you know, like amazing 35 million. Aguero's gone to Barcelona for 38 million or whatever. But this transfer window, there was nothing. It was really weird. But anyway, transfer deadline day does end, and yeah, quite frankly, it was a really boring one, so I didn't even bother showing it. But at the end of the day, we picked up Klein on deadline day, 3.9 million plus Russell Martin, and that's fine. I mean, that's perfectly fine. It's going to improve the right side of the team. Klein's going to come in, and he'll be our first choice right back ahead of Callum Chambers. So yeah, the side looking very, very strong now. It's more strength in depth. You know, it's more strength in depth. As you can look at the side here, you know, we've got players like Howson and Perotti, you know, who are good players. You know, mid to high 70s that are in the reserves. You know, we've got some fantastic strength and depth in this side now, and we're ready to be established as a Champions League side now. So that's great. But we do go ahead and rest the entire side for the League Cup game. Quite frankly, I just thought there's no need really, because, you know, against Blackburn, the team we started our FIFA 13 career mode with, they're a championship side. They're not really going to be offering much of a threat, and you know, we can afford to rest all the players. And I'm not really that bothered if we go out. We've won it for the past 2 seasons, and of course I want to win it, but I'm not going to be that bothered if we go out. So we came into this game and just rested all the players, gave a chance to some young players like Murphy and players like that, and obviously, you know, it was a good chance to see how Perotti and Ikrem would do. But even so, I just felt so confident, rested all the players, and thought I'd hope for the best, really. The only bad thing about this is that we've only got one first team left back at the moment. Luke Shaw's still injured, so we've only got Olsen, so we can't really play anyone at left back. We're using Josh or possibly Jacob Murphy, who's not a left back, he's actually a right midfielder, so we really need to we should have looked to strengthen that fullback area. But even so, you know, he'll be fine. He'll be perfectly fine playing left back for this game. It's only a one-off game, but we had a great chance there, but the ball hit the post, and then Blackburn came on a counter. Jordan Rhodes found Marshall, and his shot was well saved by Alex McCarthy. So really action-packed in the first 15 minutes here at Carrow Road, and the next chance came in the 35th minute. Diego Perotti goes down the right-hand side, takes on Fabio Nunes, who just got a booking for taking him down. He skips past him. Perotti was having a field day against him, goes into the box here, fizzes it across, and Anthony ends up hitting the post. What a great chance that was. So still 0-0 here, but how about this? Scott Dann, what on earth was he doing? Runs in toward Lucy, who chips the ball over Robinson and puts it in on the, off the underside of the bar. What on earth was that from Scott Dann? A complete mix-up between him and... well, it wasn't a mix-up between him and Paul Robinson, it was just stupid from Scott Dann. He ran into Lucy, and it was a simple finish for our striker. So on the stroke of half-time, we were 1-0 up, and still in injury time, Ross Barkley chips the ball through to Anthony, who says to Lucy, anything you can do, I can do better, and he also chips the goalkeeper. So 2 chips on the stroke of half-time, and yeah, Blackburn were going into half-time 0-0 as things took quite a solid performance, and now they're 2-0 down. What a complete throwaway. But in the 53rd minute here, Rakina gets taken down. It's a definite penalty, unfortunately. No debate about it. Callum Chambers came in from behind, and sadly the challenge was really bad, and yeah, I mean, it was my fault really. I tried to wrap the legs around it, but sadly it just took him down from behind. It was a definite penalty. So McCarthy would have a chance to be an instant Norwich hero if he could save this penalty here against Jordan Rhodes here. Rhodes steps up, the Scottish striker, against Alex McCarthy, one-on-one from the spot, and he puts the ball wide. So McCarthy dives the right way, he covered the goal, but he didn't even need to, because Rhodes puts the ball wide the post. So Norwich 2, Blackburn 0. They missed their chance to get back into the game. They do get a goal back, however, in the 63rd minute. Marshall following up from a Jordan Rhodes strike. So McCarthy's save was in vain there as Marshall makes it 2-1. And in the 84th minute, Blackburn had a great chance to equalise and take the game to extra time. Nathaniel Klein's back heel went straight to Marshall. Marshall rolls it through to Kane. Kane fires Ruben Rachina. His shot is well saved by McCarthy, and it goes out for a corner. So good stop by my goalkeeper. My new goalkeeper was doing very well in this game. And from the resulting corner, it's crossed in by Rachina towards the head of Grant Hanley. It's headed up in the air, comes to Scott Dann, tries to relieve himself after that mistake that cost the first goal, but he shot at the post and then went into the side netting. We do win by 2-1 and progress to the next round, so that's great news for us. And as always, guys, a big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please leave likes, that's much appreciated. It really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.
I'll leave you with the